by Eddie Singh, and today we are going to explore one of the burning issues: how to score better marks in English, particularly in writing and literature section. Well, Aryan, you would like to ask some queries in your mind, sir, how to get better marks in writing section? Ask question.
So how to get better marks in writing question than other people?
Yes, well, that's good. The children, who are appearing in board exams, they actually write more or less same content. All the students write more or less same content, but the fact is that presentation matters a lot. Then we would like to ask you, sir, what does presentation mean? Presentation has three important elements. When you are presenting a question before, the examiner, you should keep in mind three important things. Ask what are they? First important thing is content. Content means subject matter. Many of the students, they do not understand the specific content. The question is given about road accidents and they write about traffic congestion or traffic pollution. So they actually mention only a part of that. Traffic congestion is one of the reasons of, road accident. But it is not the topic. There are many other reasons of, road accidents. Road rage, disobedience of the traffic rules, recklessness, craziness, negligence of the road safety. There are so many reasons. So taking the content into, consideration is very important. That means the very first important thing is to take the content specifically to the point. To the second important thing you ask, sir, what is that?
What is that?
Accuracy, language accuracy. Language accuracy is very important. If your expressions are grammatically incorrect, you will be penalized. You will be penalized up to 2 marks. So if you have 10 marks expression, 2 marks will be deducted from your answers, and only 8 marks will be for evaluation. So you will get out of it hardly 6. But somebody gets 10 on 10, somebody gets 9 on 10. Why? Because they are grammatically correct. Their expression is up to the mark. They have selected right word at right context. They have chosen some beautiful decorative languages. They have made use of simple but decorative language. They have also made an elaborative explanation of the topic. So, accuracy definitely matters, and that is grammatical accuracy. Then you ask, sir, what else? Third important thing is fluency. In writing, fluency doesn't mean, speech. Fluency means integrating all the chapters, all the paragraphs together. If you have opened the topic and written introduction, then introduction must be related to the second, paragraph. That is what we call the problems and issues. When you start writing on any topic, the very first, you will open the topic. That is called unfolding the topic. What is it? Tell me. What is the first, first paragraph meant for? Unfolding the topic. Then you ask, sir, what is the second paragraph? Second paragraph is problems and issues that you are going to elaborate. Let us say if it is road accident, then you are going to write what are the various causes of road accidents. Am I right? You have to elaborate the factors that is attributed to road accident. Then you ask, sir, what is to be written in third paragraph? In third paragraph, you are going to write the solutions. When there are problems, you are going to write about remedies. How you are going to sort out the growing road accidents. That will be your remedies. And then in the fourth paragraph, you will write your own ideas. What you think is the basic requirement for reducing road rage and road accident. How you will create awareness. Are you getting my point? And most importantly, you can ask, sir, other than this, fluency means integrating paragraphs together. Am I right? One paragraph must be integrated to second paragraph, third paragraph. The ideas must be interlinked. If you are not interlinking the ideas, your fluency is 0. And therefore, you will not get full marks. So, I told you that to get a better marks in a writing section, particularly in 10 marks question, you need to, understand that content must be specific, well-defined. Whatever topic is being given, it should be well-defined and you should never go out of the topic. Always get confined to the topic, a specific topic that is given. Say, for example, if it is given that nowadays cell phones have become a bane for the children, then you should write about negative aspects of cell phone. You should not write positive aspect. But if it is written cell phone, a bane or a bone, then you go for both aspects, positive as well as negative. But unless it is mentioned that boon or bane, you are not going to elaborate both. You will specify only boon or bane. That is what. Suppose there is a topic debate that information technology is a boon to the young world. Then you are going to write about only the positive aspect. You are not going to write about negative aspect. But if it is written the impact of information technology on the youth, then you will write both positive as well as negative. Positive, of course, you will write that now information technology has created a revolution in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day, right from cell phone to electronic media, all other electronic, computer and internet, it has created a new dimension of learning. Sitting at home, you can learn everything. But most importantly, you are going to write both the negative, positive when it is given impact of information technology on children. So, what are the three elements in writing? Tell me. Content, presentation requires three important ingredient. Number one, content, subject matter. Number two, grammatical accuracy. Number three, fluency, integrating all the ideas and thought together. We should not write isolated ideas. In paragraph 1, I have started with, let us say, internet and cell phones, and in paragraph 2, I am talking about satellites, or I am talking about missiles, or I am talking about weapons. So it will be disintegrated ideas. Integrated idea means if I have started about cell phones, then I must write all the ideas about cell phone. If I have started with cyber space, computer world, I must talk about computer in the first paragraph, in the second paragraph also, in the third paragraph also. My ideas should not be out of the topic. This is one aspect. Then you ask, sir, how to get better marks in literature? That is also a part of writing. So, well, Ritik, in literature, what difficulty do you face? Literature, tell me.
Sir, question answer
long question answers. You are not able to write or make a plot of that. For that is a problem. Long question answers should be, well planned. Like, if you are writing an answer from the story of my life, Helen, and if it is the character sketch of Helen, then you should keep in mind that you will begin the whole writing right from the beginning. When Helen was born, how was she born? Her early childhood, then her late childhood. When she became blind by accident, and how she was initiated to educate. How she was getting educated under the guidance of Annie Sullivan and all other people who have contributed to her life. So you are going to divide contribution of her parents, particularly Kate Adams, her mother, and her father, and then contribution of all those, Graham Bell and all other people who have contributed a lot, right from, Helen's parent to Annie Sullivan, her teacher, her guide, and her philosopher, and all other people whom she had interacted and gathered information. And for that you will have to make at least 4 paragraphs. How many paragraphs? That will be a 10 marks writing. But must divide the idea into paragraphs that you are going to write in paragraph. First paragraph, the early childhood of Helen. In the second paragraph, the late childhood of Helen. In the third paragraph, you are going to write the contribution of her parents to her growth and development. In the fourth paragraph, contribution of Annie Sullivan and all other great people who have influenced her life and made her a good writer. So all these together, you have to always, divide the whole idea into paragraphs, and then you have to integrate all those ideas. That is what, a big question means. Now you ask one, a small, one set, questions. Just begin. Starting from.
So, what impressions do you form about Lavinia?
Lavinia was vulnerable. Vulnerable means one who is likely to be influenced by others' decision. She got carried away by the, manipulation done by the Oza board parties. The woman just, instigated her to speak against her husband. That her husband was having some, extramarital affair with another lady called Helen. Without, analyzing whether it was right or wrong, she believed in them and decided to leave the house. But later on, she came to, clarity that no, her husband was right. So Lavinia was quite vulnerable. She easily got carried over by the other ideas, and she was not, I mean, though she was a loving wife, but she was easily influenced by other others, and she was also suspicious. Also, like any other woman, she also smelled a rat. Smelled a rat. Yes. Next question, please.
What was the news that Nishikanto Ghosh gave Patul Babu?
Yeah, Nishikanto Ghosh informed Patul Babu that his brother-in-law Naresh Dutt was making a film, and he was looking for a young man, not young man, rather middle-aged man, bald-headed, short height, like Patul Babu, for a small role of a pedestrian, and that information he gave that his brother-in-law Naresh Dutt will come tomorrow at 10 o'clock to meet him and discuss about the role. This was the information conveyed by him. Next question.
What does pedestrian mean?
A person who walks on foot. A person who walks on foot is a pedestrian. Next question, please.
According to the newspaper, what had happened to Sebastian Schultz?
Yeah, the newspaper just reported that Sebastian Schultz met with an accident, in a car accident, and the laptop that he was carrying got stuck to his head, and his memory got, stored in the disk of the laptop, and he lost his memory. He was in a state of coma. So the newspaper described about this, and the second day, rather after 15 days, the same newspaper described the miraculous, escape of recovery, that he escaped, death, and he became normal. His memory got back because the disk in which his memory was stored was being used by, Michael while playing the game, and in the course of playing the game, his memory got restored, and then he got back his memory. It was just a virtual true, you may call it. It cannot be true, but it was virtually true that someone's memory can be stored in a disk, and it can be returned back to his mind through that technology. It is something which is unbelievable. Next question, please.
What expressions of Ozymandias have been captured by the sculpture?
Yeah. The sculpture had depicted his arrogance, his, angry faces. The way the sculptor had depicted his, face and expression, this suggests that he was very arrogant, very proud, and very unfriendly to his people. He was not at all friendly, and he often, had an authoritative look. The way his, the face shows the anger, the frown on his face, all this shows that he was not at all friendly to his people. One more question, last question.
Write the characteristic features of the Roman mob in the play Julius Caesar.
Yeah, the Roman mob were fickle-minded. They got carried away by the speech of, Decius Brutus when he spoke. They got believed that, Caesar was a tyrant, and they got convinced by, Decius Brutus when he spoke to them. And when Mark Antony spoke, they got carried away by Mark Antony's speech. They got carried by the influence. They got influenced by his way of oration. So they were fickle-minded. They didn't have their own judgment. Rather, they were always influenced by whoever wanted to influence them. He was successful. They don't have their own judgment. They lost their own conscience. Thank you very much. I am sure this will help you a lot. Okay.